In this video, I'm going to show you how to cut an onion the way pro chefs do. This is the fastest, most efficient and safest way of chopping and dicing onions. And as an added bonus, it will help to stop you crying when you cut it. Let's dive right in, friend. Alright, so here I've got a couple of onions. And you'll see here, this is obviously the root section. Now the root section is where the majority of the compound that makes you cry is. So this is the area we want to try not to cut too much if we can avoid it. And that will minimize the amount that we're going to cry when we're cutting our onions. Now I should also say before we begin that you're going to want a nice sharp knife when you're cutting onions. If you try and do this with a blunt knife, you're really going to struggle. It's going to be hard work. So sharpen your knife, take a little bit of time to do that beforehand, and it will be much easier. All right, so to begin with, we're going to take the top end off where it sort of comes to a point. So just cut that off. And now we've got a bit of a flat surface that we can lay our onions down on. So what I'm going to do at this stage is just cut them in half directly. And that should be the only time that we cut through that root. And now we've got our onions in halves and we can peel them. So we can just take the outer layers of brown skin off. All right, so now here we have our peeled onions. If there's still a little bit on the root, that's fine because we're not going to put that in anyway. And you can actually see the coloration change just near the root. So that's the bit that we want to try and avoid cutting too much just there. So how are we going to tackle dicing these onions? Well, what we're going to do is lay it down flat. So we've got a nice steady surface to work on. And then we want to position our knife so that we're going to cut down through it, but not all the way through. So our knife doesn't want to be beyond the edge of the onion. We want to stop just before the end so that there's still a bit of uncut onion holding it all together. One cut like that. And then we want to continue to cut more very close together, following that same pattern. Like so. So you want to try and get these cuts quite close together. So we should end up with something like this, where we've got all these cuts downwards, but it's all still held together. Now, we want to do two more cuts. We want to sort of hold the onion together with our non-dominant hand. So we do one near the top, and this is going sort of horizontally, like so. We want to be really careful of our fingers here, don't get your fingers in the way. And then we do one more cut, another a little bit further down. Again, not all the way through, stop just before the end. So now we've got two horizontal cuts. So this is almost already pre-chopped for us now. You can see it's starting to fall apart already. What we're going to do now is hold the onion together tightly, and then we're going to do more fine chops to create finely diced onions. So one chop like that, and then just continue to move back, taking a little bit at a time. So we end up with this wonderful finely chopped pieces of onion. When we get to near the end, we can lay it flat. We can just do one or two more chops like that, turn it on its side, a couple more, and then we're left with very little wastage, but we're not going to be crying. So that can go into the waste, and look at that. Perfectly finely chopped onion. Amazing. So now I'm going to show you one more time all together. And that is how we finely dice onions like a pro chef. So there we have it, simple as that. Now you know how to chop onions quickly and efficiently, you definitely want to be including them in a load of your meals. Why? Well, because they're really health promoting. Onions have tons of probiotic fibre that's good for our gut health. They are loaded with flavonoid antioxidants, which are anti-inflammatory and help with our heart health. And they even contain some sulfur-containing compounds that are thought to have anti-cancer properties. So go ahead and get onions into your diet wherever you can. Now, if this video has helped you, then I have something for you that I think is going to help you even more. I'd like to give you my guide on how to prepare meals in the kitchen really quickly and efficiently. You're going to get my top 5 time-saving hacks that will give you hours of your life back in the kitchen. If that sounds helpful to you, then please click the link in the description below and it is all yours, my friend. And if you want to see how I use these diced onions in my ultimate cholesterol lowering recipe, you can click right here to watch that. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.